road trips sometimes. In the middle of the night on day 5, we had to wind up leaving. Okay, so Shannon and I need to do a update for the channel. The last video I think that we uploaded, or one of the last,
that will be coming up will be Thunder Hole.
right,
in
was
Acadia.
at Acadia National Park. That was part of our 11-day road trip. Well, you won't be seeing anything else after that because I ended up injuring my back and going to the emergency room that night. We ended up having to go home, turn around and go home. I spent the night at the emergency room. Shannon had to wait out in the parking lot because of the state of the world, and she wasn't allowed in. Anyhow, turned out to be a bit of a nightmare for us, the trip home. We did learn a few things and from that experience, but we wanted to let you guys know that we will not be able to show any more of the Acadia and what our plans were for that particular trip. Yeah, the New England road trip came to an end
on day 5
because of my injury.
Right.
And so today we are in Cook Forest State Park. That's what you're seeing right now. So we decided after I started healing that we could get out again. But anyhow, we wanted to let you guys know I'm fine. I'm doing better.
We will go back.
We will go back
and finish out our Acadia, because
right.
that was beautiful.
One of the things that happened with this me hurting my back was I ended up in the emergency room till like 4 in the morning. Shannon had to sit out in the van and wait on me.
Well, it was like midnight. We got there at midnight.
Yeah.
Dropped Karen off. I went in and they told me no, I couldn't stay in. So
right.
yeah, I had to hang out in Fran in the parking lot for 5 hours.
Right.
Right.
So we got out of the emergency room about 5 in the morning, 4:30.
Yeah. And they had called in a prescription for Karen that
right.
wasn't able to be picked up until 10.
Mm-hmm.
So since we hadn't gotten much sleep, we decided to go back to Acadia and catch a few hours sleep.
Right, at the site that we had paid for.
Right.
So anyhow, we left, went to pick up my prescription, and I was pretty much out of it. They drugged me up pretty good. I was on fentanyl, morphine. I mean, it was unreal. So Shannon ended up having to drive home by herself the whole trip. And it turned into a bit of a nightmare. We didn't have a lot of sleep. She was tired.
Well, the plan was to
just drive until
right.
for a bit.
I was
to
going
find
to drive
a place to stay that we could just get some rest.
We were 13 and a half, according to GPS, 13 and a half hours away from home. So
right.
you know how that is traveling. That's actually 16 hours. I knew I couldn't do it all in one shot. So I told Karen, I was like, all right, we'll start driving, and I'll drive until I can't drive anymore. We'll pull off, spend the night, and I'll finish it out tomorrow. Thinking we'll pass a KOA, we'll pass a state park, we'll pass
right.
somewhere that I can pull off and we'll get in.
But everything that we tried, or everything that she tried, I was out of it. There was no room at the inn, folks. So we ended up about 8 o'clock at night. Shannon pulled into the Connecticut Visitor Center on the state line. And there was a security guard in there. And she went in and asked the guy, can we stay here for a bit to get some rest? I'm exhausted. I have a long trip home still. Can we get some rest here?
And he said, well, it was 9 o'clock. And yeah.
See, I was out of it.
Yeah, he said, I went in and I said, what is your policy for catching a few hours sleep in the parking lot? I said, I'm exhausted. I can't go any further. How does that work? And he goes, oh, go ahead. He goes, nobody will bother you. He goes, and if you need to sleep all night, sleep all night.
So we did.
That was Christmas.
Right, it was. So she got up the
we pulled the van under some
Reflectix,
headlights.
the covers on the windows, and covered everything up and locked the doors and crawled in bed. And
honestly, minus the occasional tractor trailer noise, you wouldn't have known that we weren't somewhere nice.
Yeah, and we were safe.
Yeah.
She parked under lights, under like street lamps, and there was an all-night security guard there. So we felt pretty safe being there to begin with. But we did learn a lot from that whole trip. The next day was a nightmare drive home too. I mean, we were only at that point, what?
We were supposed to be
supposedly
6 hours
away,
Yeah.
but there was an accident on 81, which diverted us about an hour and a half out of our way to
Was
get
that the day of the severe thunderstorms?
and severe. Yes,
That we had
was,
to pull off twice because you couldn't see to drive.
So she got challenged pretty hard those 2 days.
The good news is I can drive the whole way back from Maine by
Yes.
myself.
Not happily,
Yeah.
but she did it.
Yeah, the bad news is it's kind of boring with Karen passed out in the back or so, but
No, I sat in the front
oh yeah,
that day. I was useless.
Yeah.
Okay, I had
Yeah.
a pillow behind my head, and I think I slept half the time. But anyhow, I guess that the thing is, we just wanted to kind of update everybody, let you know we did learn a few things from this experience.
Yeah, I had a lot of comments that people were excited to see where we were going to go and questioning what our plans were. So our plans were, well, you saw we went to Lackawanna, and then we went to Black Rock State Park in Connecticut with Karen's son and daughter-in-law. Then we went to Salem. We were in Salem for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the 5th day, Alex and Tara got up and they headed back home, and Karen and I headed to Acadia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we were going to spend 2 days in Acadia. Then we were going to go to the Presidential Mountain Range. Then we were going to go to the Whites.
We had some reservations at a hip campsite.
Yeah, we were
going to pretty cool.
End the trip at Watkins Glen, which I was super excited about. That had been on my bucket list, but you guys won't see any further than Thunder Hole, which was awesome in Acadia. And Acadia was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And to the point.
Maine is a beautiful state.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful. I would go back there in a heartbeat.
If it wouldn't be that we have quite chunky plans coming up here in the near future, we would just immediately reschedule. But Karen's slowly recovering, and slow and steady wins the race. So.
Right. So yeah, we decided last week that I told her, I said, I'm good enough that we need to try to get back out on trails again. I'm not going to be one of those kind of people that just gives up. I just can't do it. And it is so in us to be out in the woods. I mean, seriously, once you start doing this kind of thing, it's just in your blood, and you have to get out and do it. It's almost like an addiction for us.
Oh, it's definitely an addiction.
So,
and the road tripping, I mean, I told Karen, our road trip out west ruined me in a good way. It's in me now. I just want to keep moving. There's always something right around the next corner, right at the next park, right down the road.
Yep. All right. So anyhow, long story short, we learned, one of the things I told her was, I said, one of the things I'm going to do for our next road trip is I'm going to kind of map out free campsites, like places that will for emergency reasons. Yeah. I would have never thought about that before, but after what we went through, I honestly felt so bad for her because I seriously couldn't do anything to help her. I was so out of it, and physically, and because of the medication that they had me on.
And I felt really bad for Karen.
And she was exhausted, and I know she was tired. I knew she, it was hard on her.
It's the bonus for traveling with a buddy.
Right.
We take care of each other. And one thing that I learned was, I think next time we do something like that, I would like to know where the major hospitals are.
Yeah,
that would be very helpful too. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
we were out of cell service.
Right.
And she needed help. I
think we got fortunate in that there was a hospital within 10 miles from us.
Yeah, down at Bar Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah. So she had noticed the sign for the hospital prior to this happening to me, so she remembered it. And it wasn't that far away, and I got in and out. I mean, I got in there pretty quickly. But anyhow, those are some kinds of things that you learn along the way. The things that you hope never happen to you, but kind of think about them. In case of emergency, what would I do?
Always learning.
Right.
Always learning.
Anyhow, we did learn quite a bit from that trip. But we did want to update everybody to let you know that, yes, we did go to Acadia, and what was the name of that? The wave thing, the
Thunder Hole.
Thunder Hole. That was super cool. That was the first thing that we got to see.
And the only thing we got to see.
Kind of went downhill right after that.
Yeah. But we're out. We're about. As you can see, we got stuff coming.
So, that's why I was trying to get, that was my point before, was it's not going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop us from getting out. I mean, I think if my leg was broke, I'd be dragging along with the cast behind me. I don't know.
I'll drag you.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a way. You got to figure it out. And anyway, so that's why we're here. We decided, okay, well, we're going to make a nice long, a nice road trip. We came up here to Cook's Forest State Park. We went to Parker Dam State Park, and we've done some videos on that. We're going to do videos on that. So if you guys want to stay tuned, you'll be seeing those. But yep, plan B. So we just keep moving forward. All right, so just want to let you guys know. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
So here's the reality of road trips sometimes. In the middle of the night on day 5, we had to wind up leaving and heading back home. We drove all day yesterday. Last night, see there's the van over there. We were given permission by an awesome gentleman in the Connecticut Welcome Center to crash in the parking lot. So it hit about 9 o'clock. And we couldn't drive anymore. So that's where we slept. Picked under a light. Close to the front. Just like he said, no one bothered us. It was loud. But we did it anyway. So making some coffee, and we're about halfway back to Pennsylvania.